Okay, I know it has been a while. But that's because I was away for my birthday. But Nod-Krai has been up for like 2 weeks now. So let's see what Mr. Doro44's impression of the region is, okay?
But I hope it can answer the question I get every day, which is, Doro, is Genshin worth getting into?
That is such a loaded question. Is Genshin worth getting into? First of all, you're talking to Hoyo44. The answer is almost always a definite yes. But at the same time, this question is so loaded. It's like, is pasta good? Like basically. Differs from person to person, you know?
Hey Doro, I haven't played Genshin in years, since Sumeru or Fontaine, or hell, I skipped all of Natlan. Is Nod-Krai worth it? I hope this video answers the question for
me.
I wanted to talk about the things that I love in this update and some of the things that I wish they had changed or done differently. So let's get into it. And make sure to let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on Nod-Krai so far and who you're most excited to pull. Okay, off the bat, I'm gonna talk about the Archon quest. No spoilers, but just like my vague general thoughts. By now, I have my Archon quest Act 1 and 2 playthrough uploaded. I know I was late, but I didn't want to rush it because this Archon quest is long, longer than usual.
I genuinely wonder, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because like, I genuinely feel like 7 hours for an Archon quest is long enough. Like the previous Nations is like 7 hours long. But now it's like 9.
We're gacha players and our patience is hair thin and we don't really like to read that much. And the biggest thing I was worried about,
I feel like a good portion of the community, should I say, are like novel readers. They do like to read, realistically speaking. They like to read. At the same time, I feel like everybody is just reading for the sake of reading, which I don't think is that good. Text shown up equals good, basically. Like,
oh, is it just gonna be a ton of yap and then it's only gonna get good at the end? You know, like the usual gacha storytelling. I'm happy to report to you that it was not.
He says that about every region though, like realistically speaking. Let's see what his opinion on it is. Maybe he has a reasoning behind that.
Now you might have a different opinion, but in my opinion, this quest is Genshin's best in 5 years. And I mean that.
Why?
And I was really worried because I
can't just say that without explaining why. It's like, what? Why though, right? Why is it the best? Like, because honestly, I did it and I feel like it's like, other than the fact that like characters that has been mentioned show up, it's like just like name dropping. Like everyone just name drop. Can you at least wait for him to finish talking? Okay, fine, I'll let him finish talking. Okay, let's see why. Maybe he explains why.
I was like, okay, am I only saying this because we have a new region and like I'm rose-colored glasses, a new area? I took a few days extra to like think about it. No, I still think the same way. This was the best quest that they have done. Everything from the setting, the characters, the lore. It was a 10 out of 10. This just did everything I wanted it to do. And it wasn't your typical sit here, yap, and I don't understand what's really going on. Move 2 feet, yap, and then it only gets good at the end. No.
That's quite literally what happened like 80% of the story, to be honest. I'll be completely honest. Yeah, there's parts where it's like interactive, right? Realistically speaking, there are parts where it's interactive, and I can see there's effort put into making the talking sessions, the 10-minute talking sessions, not just like people grouped around in a circle and just talk. I can see the efforts, but should I say that it's not enough? It's not enough to change it drastically, is what I'm saying.
It was amazing from beginning to end. The pacing was very well done. I was hooked the entire time, and all the characters that you meet are interesting. And honestly, I think they said this in the live stream. They said this wasn't like a permanent thing where they wanted to mix in character story quests with the Archon quest. Okay. Honestly, I think it should be a permanent thing. I think it flowed very well.
He just says things and just leaves it, bro. There's no explanation. Where's the explanation? I could say that too. Minecraft is the best game ever created. I mean, oh my god, from like the open world to like getting pigs and breeding cows, it is perfect. It's one of the best games ever made on this planet. 10 out of 10. I could say that too. I could just leave it like that too. You have to explain why. He just says things like the lore is good, the characters are interesting. I was hooked the entire time. Those are just statements, bro. Like you need to explain why, man.
Made you feel like the characters that were involved actually mattered, and you got to know the character more, their backstories, stories, their motivations, and why they're here. And it
You mean like every single character quest, like realistically speaking?
made the Archon quests feel more important and powerful. So honestly, I think going forward, they should keep doing what they're doing. Get rid of character story quests and just mash it all into the Archon quest, as long as it's paced well. And I'm happy to say that this one, Act 1 and 2.
He doesn't even say why it's paced well. He just says it's paced well. I feel like it's kind of the same, has been the same for like the past 4 nations. It's Genshin Impact storytelling. Whether the story is good or not varies nation to nation, but the storytelling has always been more or less the same. Now, they did add in like stories quests, the character story quests into the Archon quest, but at the end of the day, it's like, it is what it is.
Like, I was hooked. I'm not gonna go into spoilers. If you want to watch my playthroughs, they're already uploaded here on this channel. But man, the villain and the stakes and the cutscenes.
What stakes? Like, what stakes? The world is gonna be destroyed if he doesn't be stopped, and everybody's soul is gonna be destroyed. Like, what stakes? What are the stakes? I don't know, man. I feel like it's been the same. Genshin storytelling is Genshin storytelling. They haven't really broken away from how they tell the story, which, in my honest opinion, is not very good.
I will say oh my god, spoiler alert. There is a whole section where you play as Ether or Lumine, whoever you chose, and you do a whole mission with your twin. And they're
Wow, there's a section of the quest where you play as the main character. Who would have thought, huh?
both voiced, including MC. And this was something, as someone who's played Genshin since 1.5, has been waiting for. Oh my god. Everything from the domain that you're in with your twin, you get to fight alongside your twin.
I feel like they should have been voiced from the beginning. I don't know why they were silent like from the beginning. It's like hearing them voice is just like, okay, they're voiced.
The mystery behind like what's really going on. Oh my god, dude. Like it's the best.
Is it
in
different? Yes. Is the main character talking different from like, you know, the other like 80% of the quest, the Archon quest that we've done, where the traveler realistically only has like one line throughout like the entire 7 hours? Yeah, it's different. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's not mind blowing.
It was some of the best 8 to 10 hours in Genshin for story. It was peak, man. Like
8 to 10 hours in Genshin for story. You kind of have to add that in. Some of the best 8 to 9 hours in Genshin for story. You have to add in those two. He can't just say 8 to 9 hours, period. I can see you. It's not like I don't see the attempts of like trying to make it better. Yes, I do. But I feel like the structure doesn't really change. Point A to point B, talk. Point A to point B, talk. Point A to point B, talk. Yes, they do have interactive parts where you're the domains like the parts where it's like kind of like open world and you're like actually playing the game are a lot more interactive than like just going inside and do a domain. Kind of, yeah, it is, but at the end of the day, it's not enough. They do try to make it better. I see that. I did the entire quest without skipping. Yes, I can say that. They are trying. Genshin storytelling is still Genshin storytelling. They haven't really broken away from the formula. Holy rage bait just came in, but I can't lie, Genshin's story is the best I've seen in any game, TV show, or movie, period. Bait used to be believable. Least committed Genshin fan, by the way.
Notland was like good, but like not amazing, right?
What the fuck does that mean? Like, what the fuck does he just says it? It's good, but it's not amazing. But why?
For me personally, I really liked Sumeru and I really liked Fontaine. Like, I consider Fontaine probably peak Genshin. Natlan was good, and maybe it was also because of the voice actor strike and the whole AI thing, where a lot of characters weren't voiced for a while. That probably took away from the Archon quest. But you know, Natlan felt very different. I liked it, but I didn't insanely love it. It had some really good moments and some really good.
Everything he says is really fucking generic. He just says stuff without actually explaining. It's good here. It's good here. It's good here. I don't really like it over here, but yeah, it's good.
And I might be biased because personally, The Witcher 3 is one of my favorite video games ever. I also like World of Warcraft and like Skyrim and mystical, like mythic stuff, right? Nod-Krai just gets that vibe for me.
Realistically speaking, the entirety of dialogue of like all of Skyrim can fit into one nation of Genshin Impact, realistically speaking. But then again, you know what's the similarity between all those games have? Everybody can choose to read the story or not. You go into those games and you play the game. You go into Genshin Impact and you read Genshin Impact.
Nod-Krai is just so fun to explore. And I love the area. Like, there are moments where I'm just like transported. Like, it feels so mystical, like Lord of the Rings, Witcher vibe.
Yes, Genshin Impact is an open world fantasy RPG. Yes, Doro 44. Yes, man, yes.
Especially like if you have Lauma and you're running around as a centaur and like she's just galloping and you hear the music and like the weird looking flowers and the creatures. It's great.
Did you just say weird looking flowers? He basically just described every single nation, quite literally.
The music, like you hear like the and like the big like pillar thing and just the lights and just the blues. I don't know.
You know what this is like? You ever in 7th grade and the teacher asks you to read like a Shakespeare poem, and then there's always this one kid that writes like a 5-page essay on like a 3-line poem? This is kind of like that. Oh, to be fair, he's not really interpreting. He's quite literally just stating some of the most obvious facts there possibly can be. But you're basically like interpreting so hard that it might not even be like what the author means. Like, bro, I'm just writing words.
And Lempo and Paha like also feel different, but also like Nod-Krai still. Like just on.
What does that mean? Why does he just say words? You did hear what he just said, right?
But it's just so fun to explore this new area, to see what you'll find. The world quests as well. Yeah, you might be thinking, is this actually Doro? Okay. Yeah, I've done a few of the world quests already.
What do you mean, is this actual Doro, bro?
And there's more secrets that you can find. Like the region itself is great. And I'm excited.
Wow. Doro 44, a new region has secrets for you to find, like in the previous 7.
Flynn's. I didn't think I would like Flynn's. I love that guy. I really like him, and I love his design and like his lore and backstory and like why he does what he does. But my favorite character that literally
I love he does what he does. Oh my god. Why doesn't he explain anything?
Yehoda. And a lot of my chat can agree with this. We just fell in love with her. She's funny. She has a lot of personality. Her voice acting is great. And she's just entertaining. Like I
dare Doro 44. You know what? This is probably gonna like haywire his brain. Ask him who's the worst voice actor in all of Genshin Impact. And he's gonna say, I bet you 100% I love everybody. I think everybody is great.
I know her VA does such a great job, especially like the voice cracks and stuff. Like, I don't know. I really like all the characters in Nod-Krai so far. But yeah, Flynn's and Yo.
Name one character Doro 44 doesn't like. Actually ask him one character that he does not like. He's gonna say Old Paimon VA. Sure. Surely.
And I love their designs. They feel like they fit into the world. But I will have to say that Lauma probably has the best design.
Characters designed for that region fits into that region. What a concept. Doro has his facts straight just like his hairline. Brother, come on. Are you with him or against him?
Columbina. I was like, yeah, I mean, she's cool, but like, I'm not crazy about her like a lot of people are. No, I get it now. Doro was wrong. I was wrong about Columbina.
Name one character Doro 44 was not excited about. Wow, Doro 44 is excited for every single character that showed up during Nod-Krai. Wow, no way, man, no way. They don't call him the Hoyo 44 with the double 4s for no reason. Is he not supposed to like it? No, he can like it, but quite literally, why even mention the fact that you like characters if you like every single character in the game? At that point, what's the point of even saying that? Quite literally. There's no point. Like, you are just stating things for stating things. Well, yeah, that's what content creators do. No, that's not what content creators, not all content creators do. I'll be completely honest with you. Are you rage baiting? This summer video, right? It's not a deep dive. You don't have to deep dive, but you have to give a reason. Basically, he just said he liked everything, quite literally. What I can guess what he doesn't like. Oh, the Masterless Fortuna. I don't like it. Who would have thought that Doro 44 dislikes the things 99.99% of the players doesn't like?
And so for the explorers out there, you'd be happy to know that it's a game changer. Now, the next thing I really like is finally the artifacts. Okay, so they're different now. So before, when you get an artifact, it would show you the 3 substats, and then the 4th.
Technically, when you get a artifact, your 4th substat is already predetermined. Leveling to level 4 really just shows it. With the new change, realistically, what they're doing is just showing the 4th substat that you would have gotten.
You wouldn't know what it was going to go into. So you would have to waste some materials to get it up to level 4. And then surprise, surprise, like you've got like it's a flower with crit rate, attack percent, and then whatever. And then it just goes into defense. Like you never know what it was going to go into. So my artifact inventory is filled with like
it's good.
maybes.
I mean, am I gonna say it's not good? It is good.
Bad. But they finally added it so that now you can see what the 4th stat is going to be. It's just grayed out. So then you can decide, oh yeah, I will level this up, or I'll trash it. So now I can finally go through my inventory of thousands of artifacts and know what before it turns into literal shit. And I love that change. Like, God, I wish they had added that sooner, honestly, or just had given us the 4th stat the entire time. But it helps a ton. I will say though, I mean, I'm still getting artifacts. So
I'll be honest with you, that quality of life added 4 years after the game came out is honestly kind of a slap to the face. Is it a good feature? Yeah, but it's 4 years after the game came out. I feel like that's like a half-year change.
This kind of goes with the exploring, but the puzzles. I like the puzzles. There are some puzzles that are actually just like beautiful in a sense of like you turn into a Sealy and then you have like these rails, kind of like in Natland, right? Where you can use like Moika or Mualani to like surf or like use the motorbike on the rails, right? And some of them are puzzles and like they just look gorgeous. Like when you're going through it, just like it's just mystical. Like I honestly feel like I'm playing Skyrim again for the first time. Like
okay, the thing is, okay, he keeps bringing up Skyrim, which I feel like is genuinely a slap to Skyrim, realistically speaking. Genshin puzzles, the novelty is always there. You do a puzzle for the first time, oh, it's cool, right? It's cool. Am I gonna say that's not cool for you to do it for the first time? No, right? You never seen the puzzle before, you don't know what it's like, oh, it's cool. But when you had to do it for like the 80th time, the 100th, 20th time, just to get a common chest that gives you 5 weapon crystals, that's where it really, you know, I feel like when you think about this, you have to think about like the long term, right? The long term. It's quite literally just do this puzzle for like 30 seconds just to get 2 wits. So that really just like erases my desire to do any puzzles. But at the end of the day, it's like you can't really compare it to Skyrim, where puzzles gives you actual game-changing stuff, right? Rather than just like 5 primo gems on every single puzzle. At the end of the day, it is a gacha game. Am I gonna say that it's a good thing? No. I feel like giving it a pass just because it's a gacha game is a bit disingenuous.
The little details that they've added, like in Nasha Town, you can see people working or whatever. It's just like the little moving parts. It just feels more alive. Like, remember Mondstadt when we first went there? Compare that to Nasha Town and just to see how Genshin has grown. Like, it's just more lively and everything combined. All the small details, the NPCs, the music.
To be fair, there are a lot more NPCs in like the later towns. I think starting in like Fontaine, I think it's where the city becomes a bit more crowded, but at the same time, you have to think about performance of the game on the mobile, right? I get it, but at the same time, it's like that's an explanation, not an excuse, right? I'm not gonna give it a pass just because, you know, it needs to fit in mobile. It's not getting a pass.
Getting into some of the things that I don't really love or I wish they would change. I'm gonna start off with the obvious one, the Masterless Stella Fortuna and the level 100 ding characters. You got a lot of backlash when they had first announced it. I've seen the internet quiet down about it now. Maybe I'm just on the wrong side of the internet and I don't see it. But I have only level 100'd Bennett, Arena, and Skirt. Scratch that, Arlecchino. And the reason why was because I just like those characters a lot. So I didn't do it to get more base HP or base attack. Like, I just did it because I was like,
you do get those stats though. I mean, like, it is quite literally. I mean, like, whether you like the character or not, the fact is that you gain them stats. Do they matter? Depends on where you are in terms of, like, you know, Stygian Onslaught and Spiral Abyss. It gives you like 5%, like 10% more damage, and you can clear Abyss and Stygian Onslaught like 5 seconds, 10 seconds faster. If you really need that time to pass it, then it makes a difference to you. But for most players that basically already one shot, like the whale players basically already can, you know, do dire 180, and the players that can't are like stuck at like menacing, still need like a minute or something like that, is not gonna help them that much.
But I just don't understand why we just didn't make the new character level 100 across the board so that even F2P players could do that.
Because that doesn't do anything. I feel like Doro doesn't. I feel like genuinely Doro 44 does not understand game design. If you up the max level, you need to up the difficulty. Effectively, it does nothing, because if you're raising a character level, there needs to be a reason, right? So why does it need to be a level 100? Because it can do harder content, which means you need to add harder content. They're probably not going to give you more materials. Bosses are not going to give you more materials. Mobs are not going to give you more materials. You're not going to be able to get more wits or like weapon stones or whatever, right? So what is the point of raising the level just for the sake of raising the level? Like, that's cringe.
Like, I think they were trying to make whales happy, and yeah, I guess, but like, I guess it shouldn't have been.
No, you see, this is like the sort of like the Genshin Impact design philosophy. I feel like they give something for the whales just purely almost for the fact that they are whales, without actually changing the experience for casual players. Like Stygian Onslaught Dire 180 is a prime example, right? You only get cosmetic rewards for beating the hardest difficulty, but at the same time, the hardest difficulty basically is almost undoable unless you have the correct characters and the correct teams, right? With enough investments in them. And even then, to 180 them, there's quite literally nothing you can do unless you basically have a full team of C6 with the correct characters.
Like, why haven't we done that yet? It's still 60. Why not make it 70? Give us more.
For what? Are we just raising levels for the sake of raising levels, right? So what are we raising levels for? Like, when you raise levels, something else needs to increase. Otherwise, we're just like increasing levels for the sake of increasing levels. Like, what are we doing?
You know what I mean? And something else to grind toward. Now, granted, the AR-60 reward.
Something to grind towards, but what are you grinding it towards? To do the same exact thing? Like, come on.
Now, before I get into the rest of the things that I'm kind of like on, I'm just gonna blitz this part. We don't have more resin. They actually changed how the resin works a little bit. We don't have more resin.
You makes these like small changes sound like it's really big. Quite literally, you are able to consume double your resin when you're doing artifacts and domains. That's quite literally it. You can consume double the amount.
The domains, when a new character comes out, the domains are open.
Oh, wow.
All of them.
Thanks for mentioning a feature that 99% of the players don't like. Oh, thanks.
Anything for the next 7 days when a new character drops. After the 7 days, it goes back to the Tuesday, Thursday, and the 4th Friday of every month. Like, it goes back to that. Now, I originally thought that all domains for the new
nobody really likes it. I'll be honest with you. Nobody really likes
for the
it.
7 days. Let us farm whatever, whenever, every day. I don't know if Genshin's worried about, well, if we do that, will people play our game less? No, they won't. Your Genshin motherfucking Impact, bro. People are not going to play the game less. And with a banger update like Nod...
Doro 44 or Hoyo 44 should be the last person that someone can take advice. This guy just suggested making level 100 and making AR 70 for the sake of making it level 100 and making it AR 70.
Maybe they're just trying to do that so that you don't build all your characters too fast, but like, I don't know. I think it's stupid. I like being able to build my...
I mean, that's quite literally the definition of why resin exists, right? So your playtime of meaningful progress is restricted. It's quite literally what it is. Yeah, realistically, if you really think about it, right? If the materials are restricted to certain days, they can double dip on restrictions, right? You're first restricted by resin on how much you can farm during that day. And then second of all, you're restricted by the number of days that you can farm, right? So it's like a double dip on the restriction. So people with a character can't just complete the character on the first day, right? It'd be like at least like a week or something like that.
No, yeah, that's pretty much it. I have been loving Nod-Krai. Like, honestly, the 10 out of 10. I've been taking the last few days off.
What is not 10 out of 10? No, Hoyo's, is there a nation that hasn't been a 10 out of 10 for Hoyo 44 over here? I know there's a lot of like new people that watch me during Nod-Krai or whatever, right? And you guys always ask me, why do you hate the game? I don't hate the game, but at the same time, I don't like sugarcoating things that video games in 2025 should have. Whether or not they're gacha, like people always use the excuse that they are gacha. That's not an excuse. That's an explanation. It should not be that. I feel like a lot of people really only play gacha games, right? Which makes sense because a lot of like non-gacha games are not really mobile, right? It's only available on console, only available on PC, you know? But gacha games are available on mobile, which basically the entire planet has access to. Not everybody has a PC, not everybody has a console, but everybody has a phone. But other gacha games like HSR doesn't do that, but you have to keep in mind that other games don't have the luxury to do that. Why don't they have the luxury to do that? Because that's how they keep an edge over Genshin Impact. Other gacha games need as much edge they have over Genshin Impact as possible whether it is like overflowing resin or overflowing stamina and like other quality of life things that Genshin doesn't have. Because why? Because Genshin Impact is the most popular gacha game on the market. They don't need to create an edge. They only need to keep their status, realistically speaking. As long as another game doesn't even come close to taking it down, they can pretty much do whatever they want. That's how business works. Being the most popular gacha game on the market, basically being like the most popular by like a large margin in this market space, allows it to have a monopoly. What that means is it can do whatever it wants, quite literally, and nobody can really stop. That's just how it is. And back to my point where I say that a lot of people only play gacha games. I feel like gacha games, even before Genshin Impact, gacha games when compared to like other games are like, I say, an entire decade behind. Gacha games that came out in like 2010 to have like the same sort of like gameplay depth and like replayability as like PC games and console games that came out in like 2005. And I feel like when it comes to Genshin Impact, I know a lot of you guys want to like the game, and I'm not flaming you for wanting to like the game. I know you guys like the game. I know a lot of you love the game, but literally comparing it to like literally other games, it's like it's quite behind in terms of like gameplay replayability. Some of you genuinely don't like to accept that fact. I feel a lot of you like to live in this bubble, this little bubble where you block out all the negative things about Genshin Impact, and you want to sit in your little bubble of positivity and pretend that negative things don't exist. Well, just because you ignore it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I feel like everybody can still accept the negative things about it and still like it. Like, I feel like if your entire desire to play the game hinges on the facts that other people has to say positive things about the game, realistically, are you really enjoying the game? So genuinely asking, why is Genshin top of the market when the actual game is behind? Game is behind when you compare it to other games. Genshin only thrives in the gacha space. Does that make sense? But since the entire gacha space is essentially like an entire decade behind like actual games, when Genshin came out, it's a step forward compared to other games, like a huge step forward. I'm talking about like, it's massive. Quite literally, Genshin is probably the biggest step gacha games could make, but still, compared to like games that came out in like 2025, it's quite literally the same as a game that came out in like 2014. Does that make sense? Genshin isn't trying to make itself anything other than what it is though, right? It isn't, but you can't pretend that those problems doesn't exist. Just because its design is not meant, or it doesn't want those features in the game just because it's a gacha game, doesn't mean that those features are right. Like, I don't think stamina system is correct. I don't think stamina system is a good feature. Like, should that feature exist? No, but it has to exist because it's a gacha game, right? Your progress that you make in the game should not be gatekept. I feel like everybody gives it this pass just because it's a gacha game, whereas I don't. I don't like giving passes for games, realistically. I'll be honest with you. If it's bad, I'm gonna say it's bad. I have the parts that I enjoy for Genshin Impact, I do, and I have the parts that I don't enjoy, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat things. But if stamina is inherent for gacha games, why bother to talk about it? It's not like it's going to go away. It's not going to go away, but at the same time, it doesn't mean you don't have to talk about it. You just don't want to hear it because everybody's talking about it. Maybe that's for you. Maybe you're just tired of hearing it. But just because the problem is inherent to the game and everybody accepts it doesn't mean it's not a problem. Does that make sense? I accept all the negatives and all the positives for me personally, but I also like to shit on a lot of the negatives. Why? Because they're negatives. I feel like it'd be a much better place. I feel like the community would be a lot better if everybody just accepts when somebody actually provides a concrete example on why certain things are not good. Don't just shoot it down.